Hi everyone, and welcome to the first ever Evolved Exchange. My name is Sally Guest, high performance coach, author, and event planner from Evolve Living. I help people reach their full potential and give them the tools to sustain their results. So, the Evolved Exchange is all about exchanging inspiration, information, and education with extraordinary people who have dedicated their lives to developing human potential. Today, for my first ever Evolved Exchange, I'm really excited to let you know that I've decided to interview my amazing husband, Dr. David Guest. Now, Dave, as you know, at Evolve Living, we believe that optimal human potential, or reaching our full potential, hinges upon fulfilling on 5 key areas of human performance, and those 5 key areas are a connected mindset, amazing mind-body connection, plenty of physical input and output, and mind-body restoration. So tell the listeners just a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you fit into the 5 key areas that I've just outlined.
Well, thank you for that introduction. Again, my name is David Guest. I am a chiropractor with a focus on structural correction. And out of the 5 key areas with Evolve Living, the biggest one that I would have an impact on would be the mind-body connection.
Cool.
Very cool.
So just tell everyone just quickly how it was that you decided that you wanted to become a chiropractor.
Well, as you've heard the story before, growing up, I was pretty unsure of what I wanted to do. And a lot of people who know me know I play a lot of racket sports, squash, and tennis. And just growing up in Brockville in Eastern Ontario, for some reason, a number of the chiropractors in that area also played squash and tennis. And really, I just remember sitting in class in high school one day, and it just dawned on me that when I looked at these guys who were chiropractors, I looked at their life, and they had an extremely cool life, extremely cool way about themselves. And like I said, it just dawned on me, and that's kind of how I thought I wanted my life to be. And basically made the decision then and there, sitting there one day in class, that I was going to become a chiropractor.
And had you experienced much of chiropractic?
No, it's quite funny because you come across chiropractors and a lot of them have their miracle stories of they were 6 when they started getting adjusted and their allergies miraculously cleared up. I have no miracle story. I just thought the chiropractors in the area were quite cool, and that's why I decided to go to chiropractic college.
And so how long have you been in practice for now?
Approximately 13 years, coming up on 13 years.
And so tell me a little bit about structural correction and philosophically where you sit in terms of what chiropractic is and what your philosophy personally is.
Well, I always say to patients when they come in to see us, I've never ever sat there or adjusted someone and thought that I've actually cured anybody of anything. I love the analogy in terms of structural correction of the blood pressure in the human body, normally 120 over 80, or some people now are saying 130 over 90. No one has that exact blood pressure all the time. So there's always a range that the blood pressure can be in. Exact same thing in the spine. Ideally, I look at your spine, Sal, or you look at mine. Ideally, it should be straight up and down from the front to the back. From the side, there should be 4 normal curves. It doesn't, again, have to be perfect, but those are the general things that we want to see. If there's pretty big changes, deviations from that, then that's definitely more of a concern. And as a chiropractor, a structural chiropractor, my job is basically to direct the spine back towards its normal range, which relieves pressure on the discs and ultimately the nerves, which is what runs and controls the entire human body, the nervous system, the brain, spinal cord, and central nervous system.
Wow, so quite a big job.
It is, but the body does the job. I just facilitate it.
That's cool. So Dave, you've just said that the nervous system runs the body. Can you explain to the listeners what that actually means and also how it impacts on us functioning at our full potential or reaching our full potential?
Yeah, good question, Sal. Very good question.
Full of great questions, full of great questions.
So again, as you can understand, the nervous system, which is the central nervous system, is comprised of the brain and the spinal cord. And again, in chiropractic philosophy, or it's not even philosophy, it's just the way that the body is, that it's that central nervous system which runs the entire body. So there's nothing that anybody can say isn't under control of the nervous system, and basically the mental impulse, which is the unit of function of the nervous system. So again, as a chiropractor, if there's shifts in the spine, changes in curves, it impedes the nerves from functioning or working the best that they can. And just because of that, I don't care if it's someone that comes in to see us with headaches, or in the past we've seen lots and lots of kids that wet the bed. That's not, that nervous system stress is not allowing their body to function or work the best that it could. I'd throw out there, in that situation, say if a little 10-year-old is wetting the bed every night, his body's still working the best that it can, or the best that it could. So the body's adapting to the situation and to the environment that it's in. But if I come along and again start guiding the spine back towards its normal range, removing any compression to the nerves and the discs, and all of a sudden the nerves can, instead of working at 70% work and maybe even just 90%, then the potential of that body, or say of the kid going to sleep and not waking up in a wet bed, how can it not be increased?
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And I remember when we were in practice back in New Zealand, did you see 23?
Yeah, we saw in 23? 1 year 23 kids that wet the bed pretty much night in, night out, with the oldest one being the boy that came down from Te Puke to see us, and he was with his family. He was 14 years old. Every single night of his life, he's basically wet the bed, and started getting adjusted. And again, within 2 to 3 weeks, was having more dry nights than wet nights. So again, he was still having wet nights, but just such a clear sign that as soon as he starts getting checked and adjusted, that his potential, or his nervous system potential, especially the nerves where they go to the bladder, because the bladder's under control of the bladder, like all the other organs, are under control of the nerves, that again, his body's just functioning or at a higher level or at a higher rate. Extremely cool to see. One of my favorite things, as you know, to see in clinic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that just completely changed that boy's life.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
There is one big criticism of chiropractic, and that is chiropractors that are out there saying that they cure asthma and they cure this and they help that. And what do you say to the critics, and how do you explain chiropractic within the terms of your own philosophy?
Yeah. Again, I say to most, if not every single patient that I see, that I personally, or through my adjustment, I don't cure. If someone comes in with a headache, they get adjusted and the headache goes. I honestly believe that I didn't cure that headache. Again, it's just removing the interference within that body. So all of a sudden we take that interference out, the body can work, instead of being here, up there, and the headache goes. That's just, again, just the body adapting at a better level. So if little kids, again, say come in on the medications that they do, the Symbicort, the Flovent, they start getting, with the asthma, they start getting adjusted, all of a sudden they can breathe better. Well, again, it's just their body adapting to its new environment that much better. So many times, and it doesn't matter if it's an asthma or anything else, people rely on drugs less and less. And that is not to say that the drugs don't have their place and purpose, but again, if a better functioning and adapting body is always going to be better off than one that's kind of limited in what it can do.
Oh, absolutely. Totally agree with you. So, Dave, in the context of the mind-body connection, what is the best piece of advice you can give our listeners?
Best piece of advice to give listeners, mind-body connection. Well, first and foremost, just because I am a chiropractor, I believe and think in a way, is just common sense that people should get checked and adjusted if need be, in terms of getting their spine and nervous system working, functioning to the best of its potential. That's to me an absolute no-brainer. And just with what I've seen over the last 13 years, the thousands of people I've helped, just time in, time out, people start getting adjusted, their body functions at a higher level. So to me, that would be probably the single biggest and most important thing people can do for themselves in that regard.
Well, I know personally, like with my health and wellness journey, and kind of reaching my full potential, chiropractic was the first, I guess, step on the ladder in terms of growing an awareness about my body, and learning what I needed to do to reach and sustain my full potential.
You didn't have a choice because we started dating, and then you automatically had to start getting checked and adjusted. And it was quite cool for me because you had no clue what was going on, or you never really, I think you said before, ever thought about chiropractic. And
No, I had no clue.
Yeah, and look at all the changes, eh? So
like huge. I mean, like I can actually say that chiropractic has changed my life.
absolutely, yeah.
But actually, it's probably like first and foremost, you have changed my life because
Very lucky to be with me.
oh, unbelievably.
Yes.
So, okay, so we've got a little bit of a snapshot. The listeners have a little bit of a snapshot about the mind-body connection and chiropractic.
Yep.
But as you know, philosophically at Evolve Living, we've got the 5 key areas that are key or really important for reaching and sustaining our full potential. So I want to ask for some insight or opinions or examples or experiences in the other 4 areas.
Perfect.
Because I know that you are constantly trying to sustain or operate at your best potential as well.
Absolutely.
So as you know, for me, mindset is number 1. Like that's the first thing you have to get right. So what can you tell the listeners about mindset from your perspective?
Biggest thing for mindset is that it's actually a choice, and obviously I've been doing a bit of work with you, Selen, just the awareness of the mindset and how much influence, or not even influence, how you can actually change it. So it's not even influence. Well, I guess it is influencing, but you can make a decision of how you want it to be. And that's been, for me personally, that's been massive.
So can you give an example just to kind of make it a little bit clearer?
To tell you the truth, not a specific example other than the fact of, say, someone going, or me going about my day-to-day stuff, and if something happens that ticks me off, someone cuts me off on the road, or myself blowing out on a squash court, like realizing to myself that it actually is a choice how I respond or react to that situation. And a lot of people, I think, are just road rage, that they always get road rage, but they might not understand that it's a choice.
Yeah.
That they're choosing to be like that.
Yeah, that's cool. And so how has that, having this new level of awareness, how has that changed your life, so to speak, and in the context of reaching your full potential?
Well, again, if someone's going around, as an example, myself, and I'm not going to say all day, every day, but part of the day I'm in a bad mood, which again is a choice, or annoyed at something, how can that allow me to, like you said, reach or be at my full potential? Because that negativity or that bad mindset that I'm choosing to have just wouldn't let me have the type of day or the type of life that I would want to have. So again, the awareness that I do have an influence and I can impact it and change it if that's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so that's really cool about the mindset. But one of the other key areas that we talk about at Evolve Living is physical input. So nutrition, what you put into your body. Give us a little bit of an insight on what your philosophy is and how you reach or sustain your full potential in that area.
Yep. I've learned, again, a lot from you in this regard. Obviously, a standard one is a lot of water for everybody. I say to my patients, like males, you hear, oh, you got to drink 2 liters of water. But you know what? Maybe I need 2.5 liters of water a day for my body. Someone else's body needs 1.8 liters. So I think just in general, drinking water regularly throughout the day. And the biggest one, I know you and I are always doing this, Sal, is actually reading the ingredients on the products that we buy and limiting any additives, preservatives, chemicals basically that we put into our bodies, and eating as much fruit and vegetables as possible. I'm not going to try and sit here and say I eat perfectly, because I definitely don't, and I have my vices with food like I guess anybody else does. We both enjoy a nice coffee in the morning, each and every morning basically. But I think with us, we're at some would say coffees might not be the best for you, others would say the opposite. But we love it so much, how can it not be healthy for us?
Exactly.
Yes.
And don't even get me started on you and pizza.
Pizza is excellent at any time.
Well, I mean, and if you kind of just jump back to the mindset thing, I mean, if something really does make you feel that amazing
How
and
can
that
it not?
happy, how can it not be
Yeah.
good for
It's
you?
again
So,
like we've talked about this before, like the 105-year-old lady getting interviewed. She's whatever, maybe North America's oldest person, and then the media person will be like, "Okay, what's the biggest secret?" And she'll have had like a shot of whiskey, a nip of whiskey every day for the past 60 years.
yeah,
Well, she's thinking that it's keeping her alive, and to tell you the truth, in my opinion, it probably is, because
yeah,
she loves it so much. So,
yeah.
yeah,
It's all about balance, and I'm not going to say moderation because what is moderation? That
yeah,
like, I mean, what
yeah,
does that even mean?
yeah.
But it is about balance.
And
So
moderation's different to so many different people. Like your
yeah,
moderation might be different from mine. So again, like you said, what is moderation?
yeah.
Mm.
But that's a whole another interview, so we'll talk about that some other time.
Part two.
Part two. Wait, everyone, the
Yes.
exciting conversation on moderation.
Yes.
So, physical output,
Yeah.
that's the next one, and I know that this is one of your favorites.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
just give everyone a little bit of insight on what your philosophy is in terms of exercise and what you're out and about doing, what you put
Yeah.
your body through.
As I already said, play squash, tennis. I love mountain biking. I'll go for a run. I'll take Fia, our beautiful daughter, for a walk. In general, you just keep the body moving is my philosophy, to tell you the truth. So all the patients I see, I don't care if it's Dorothy at 93 that comes in. I'll say to her, you know what? Go for a walk. Just keep moving. Some people want to run marathons. Yeah, it doesn't have to be exercise per se in terms of like going out for a half an hour walk, because not everybody can do that, but just
Mm,
the fact that you move the body, absolutely key. And this is just my thoughts. I don't understand how people don't exercise, because you know this about me as well, Sal. If I don't work up a sweat or like exercise over a period of time, I just personally don't feel right, hey? And I know a lot of people are like that. So like I said, just getting out there and getting moving. Who cares if it's a 20-minute walk with the running shoes on, or someone wanting to go for a 2-hour bike ride, or play some tennis, or rugby for all the Kiwis over there. It doesn't matter. Just keep moving.
hockey for the Canadians.
Ice hockey,
That's what I meant.
skating along the Rideau Canal. That's exercise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. And I mean, we definitely get out and about quite often,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's really
Pretty much
cool.
every day we do something.
Oh,
Yeah.
every day.
And
Yeah,
some days more intense than others, but that's fair enough.
yeah. And finally, mind body restoration. So, what do you do to keep your tank full in terms of you time, like I guess meditation or yoga or massage, or like what philosophically, what do you think is important to keep your tank full and keep restored? Oh,
So to me, for a restoration, I love the pillows that we have because they're super comfy. So when you go to sleep at night, yeah, as you know, they're unbelievably comfortable. So it just helps us sleep that much better at night. Obviously, a good rest is key to letting the body work the best that it can. During the daytime hours, I love music, so I think that's very important to me. Again, I'm not saying that's got to be everybody's choice, but I just love having music going. I love trying to bribe my wife into giving me a massage, which lately has been working more often than not, which is quite nice.
only in
And
exchange for doing the dishes, though.
yes, it's all right though. I don't mind. What else for restoration? Yeah, I've done a lot of yoga in the past, I guess. I've been a little bit off of it recently. I haven't been doing it too much. But really just trying to be present, I think, is quite big for me too. So actually, like just breathing and being aware of what I'm doing or where I am in the moment. And again, so many people, we only have one kid, and obviously so many people have more than one,
Yeah.
but just there's so many things coming at people all the time, be it the kids, the phone, technology, like chores to do, things to get. And it's just too easy for the days, weeks, months, years to fly by. And something that I just try to do for myself in my own head. And I did this on our wedding. And as you know, our wedding went by very slowly for me, but only because I just kind of grounded myself a lot throughout the day, which is what I'm trying to do now, and just breathe and actually just be aware of where I am in the moment. So yeah, those are the biggest things for me. The pillow, music, definitely a good quality rest, nice massages, and yeah, just being present. I find
Um,
I
can we have
find
it on the record that I prefer that you went and paid for a massage with one of your excellent massage therapists at your clinic?
I am doing that too.
um, that's really cool. So, thank you for giving us some insight in terms of the 5 key areas and, in particular, the mind body connection,
Yes.
because I can personally say that you are a friggin' phenomenal
Oh, thanks,
chiropractor.
Sal. Appreciate that.
And I'm not just saying
Yeah.
that,
Thank you for
but
making me the first interviewee in Evolved Exchange.
yeah, well,
Honored, honored, because I know there's going to be many, many more, and for me to be number one, that is awesome.
well, I needed you to be the guinea pig and get the
That's
crap one
fine.
out of the way.
That's fine. I don't mind. I'm number one.
Number one.
Yes, number one.
So to sum up, if someone is trying to reach their full potential or interested in human performance, what would you say is the number one thing or the best piece of advice you can give that person?
First thing that comes to mind is read the book that you wrote, because I actually think it's extremely cool, and I'm not just saying that, but I was quite
Thanks.
how do I word it? Like blown away with the level of understanding. And I just, like, I've seen you personally grow a lot over the last couple of years and become so passionate about what you're doing. But the book, I think, is the first thing that popped into my mind, because to to function and to be the best that you can be, or at optimal potential, it's not just one thing that you have to do. Like, you know that obviously it's not just coming to see me, or not just exercising. Like, you do have to do a lot of different things. But I think the book that you wrote is an extremely good starting point.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome.
The Blueprint for Optimal Human
Yes,
Performance, which you can
I
actually
was
download from my website.
yes, I was trying to remember the name and it slipped my mind, so that's what it is.
Great. Okay, thanks so much. And yeah, I'll interview you again once I'm a real
Anytime.
gun at doing the interviews, and
Anytime.
we'll do something way more professional.
Perfect.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.